Now that brings us to trumpet number 6. The question is it time for the 6th trumpet? In my opinion, the 5th trumpet sounded in 1991, and trumpets are normally an era. So maybe we're still in the 5th trumpet era. Saddam Hussein is still with us, in case you haven't noticed. Yet, it looks like the 6th trumpet era is about to begin. Because if the 6th trumpet era is in fact the war concerning China, has anybody been noticing the news lately about the tensions heating up concerning Taiwan? We'll get more to that because I have quotes for you so you can see what China is saying and what China is threatening right now. But the first question we need to ask is, if there is to be a war triggered by China, who will her opponent be, especially since this is not going to be a firefight, this is going to be a catastrophe. If the result is to be 2 billion dead, we're talking about a world-engulfing war. If there is going to be such a war, who will the likely opponent be? There are only 2 possibilities in my mind, because a war to kill 2 billion has to involve nuclear weapons. And I'm talking about a lot of nuclear weapons. There are 2 powers that would dare go to war against China on the face of this earth right now. Russia, the United States of America. Those are the 2 powers that could even think about going to war against China. Now, of those 2, which is the most likely to be involved in a war against China? I wish it were not true. But it's obvious that it's the United States of America. I have an article here. This comes from Newsmax.com off the internet, January 27, just 2 or 3 months ago. The title of the article, Russia-Chinese Alliance Strengthening. Russian officials feel helping China is in their best interest because that country can best offset U.S. military might. China and Russia do not want a world ruled by one superpower. They want a multipolar world so that they can have an equal influence. Right now, that's not true. The United States is dominating the world in an unprecedented fashion. So Russia and China feel like if they will influence each to the other, and Russia in particular believes that the surging Chinese economic might, along with her vast population, that China is to be the superpower of the 21st century. It is estimated that Chinese will pass the United States economically by the year 2015. Of course, already she is far beyond us as far as population goes. So here we have this emerging superpower, and Russia believes that she can offset the influence of the United States of America. Recently, the head of Russia met with the heads of China, and they said to one another, we believe, Russia, you have a right to defend your territory in Chechnya. And Russia said to China, we believe you have a right to defend your territory in Taiwan. And so they are lending their support each to the other. That makes a war between the 2 of them right now not very likely. However, while they are getting along famously together, what is happening between the United States and China? This headline comes from the Washington Times. Washington, D.C. happens to be our capital, in case you haven't noticed that. And Washington Times is one of the dominant papers of the United States of America, February 29, a month and a half ago now. The title of the article, China Threatens U.S. with Missile Strike. China stepped up its war of words over Taiwan yesterday, bluntly threatening to fire long-range nuclear missiles at the United States if it defends the island of Taiwan. I could have brought 20 of these types of articles here. I have them in my files because this is being stated repeatedly. In August, China sent a secret communique out to all of its military saying that they should prepare for nuclear war with the United States because they believe we will defend Taiwan, and they are determined if we do that they will take us on in war, and they are making those preparations right now. So it looks like that the time prophetically is here right now for this war.